Is this you? Oh, crack my neck. Feels so nice. Get back to work 30 minutes later. Ooh, it hurts again. Oh, crack my neck. Feels so nice. 30 minutes later. If that's you cyclically, then you need to hear this story about a patient that I had a while back who was cracking their neck like 20 times a day and ended up significantly injuring himself in the process. So, when you crack your neck, of course, it's going to feel all nice. You've got all these endorphins that are released. It feels really, really good until they wear off. And now that stiffness sets back in. So when you crack your own neck, what's happening is that you are manipulating these small joints of the spine that we call your facet joints. And this is where all of the motion takes place in your spine. So in your neck, we have a lot of rotation that's happening there. That's kind of the main motion that we get. And so when you crack your neck, typically what people are doing is they're turning their head, right? Imagine this is the skull here. So they're turning their head right and left, right, back and forth. And I'm exaggerating it a little bit, of course, so that you can see what I'm doing. But what's happening is you are repetitively overstretching these joint spaces, especially if you're forcing it when you're doing it. And if you're doing that 20 times a day, that's trauma going into the spine 20 different times a day. And what's going to happen over time is you're going to loosen the ligaments that are holding the spine together. As those ligaments become loose, and these are the things that normally are stabilizing your neck, that are stabilizing my neck right now, that are ensuring that I have a limited amount of movement that I can do from side to side. So when those get too stretched, they create more motion. And your nervous system senses that excess motion and says, oh my gosh, that's too much. I have to create tension in the muscles. I have to decrease the amount of motion that we have there. And so when you crack your neck, it feels nice, but your muscles over time are going to start to compress your neck more and more, so that when you're not actively cracking your neck will actually hurt more and worse as time goes on. So this patient that I had, he was doing this over and over and over again. I mean, multiple times a day, at least 20 times a day. And what ended up happening is exactly what I've described. His body decided to say, oh my gosh, this is too much. Let me seize up. And so one morning he woke up, he went to crack his neck, and he developed intense muscle spasms to the point where he could not move his neck at all when he came to my office. And it took quite a while. It took quite a few treatments to end up getting him to where he was stable again. Now, the good news is that is not the worst case scenario. So he was still pretty lucky in terms of the outcome, and he ended up making a full recovery. Learned his lesson and learned that when he feels the urge to crack his neck, he should not necessarily do that. But what can be worse is that you've got this little red thing that goes through your bones and your cervical spine in your neck. And we call this the vertebral artery. And if you were paying close attention when I was turning the neck, you see how it's putting a lot of stretch on that vertebral artery. So that shouldn't happen. That artery can actually rupture, and you can give yourself a stroke if you develop too much laxity, too much stretch in the neck area. And so if that happens, guess where this blood is going? Guess where it's traveling? It's traveling up to your brain. So if you rupture this artery, you're now cutting blood supply off from your brain. And worst case scenario in that situation, it can lead to death. Best case, you can make a full recovery, but there's also everything in between there. You can end up with significant brain damage as well. So, if you are feeling like you have tension in your neck and you need to crack your neck, I would have somebody evaluate that for you and not go to cracking your neck. I never recommend that to patients because the outcome can just be so detrimental. So if you're having neck pain, lots of different things you can do. I have lots of little videos, and I'm creating some more where I'll talk a little bit more about neck pain and what you can do for it. But I would highly recommend seeing a chiropractor, physical therapist, medical doctor, somebody else who's a professional who can maybe evaluate you appropriately and decide what the treatment is going to be. That's not going to be as high risk as you kind of taking the matter into your own hands and, effectively internally twisting your head off, because you don't want to do that. So hopefully that was helpful and that explained a little bit more. I know when I did my little neck cracking short, a lot of you guys had questions about that. So if that helped, give me a thumbs up. If you have further questions or anything else you'd like me to elaborate on, please let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate your support.